Good noon, everyone. Welcome to Nifty Bank Nifty live analysis. So what we saw yesterday was a clean up move which happened right from the bottom and also tried to sustain. So if you see on the hourly chart, I would basically see for Nifty somewhere on the downside below 17,000. This entire area will be acting like a good support. So now if Nifty starts coming below 17,000 also, it will give a good bounce from the downside. So that was one important point which we need to note. Now the downside is only below 16,800, the previous low which was made. Now when we go on the higher point of view, where it was very clear that on the upper scale, the resistance was very much there at 17,300 zone. And this was the prior zone where the fall had taken place and he tried to come back to the top. Along with that, red dotted lines have also come. So let's see on the smaller time frame what has happened. So here, after the move on the upside, he tried to basically go all the way to the top in the morning session, reaching into the resistance zone exactly in that zone. And then you had the red dotted lines also coming through. So then it was a follow through on the downside. So one thing is very clear, it's entering into the support zone plus a strong green candle which had come from this zone. So it all said and done, after a big fall, small bounce activity is quite possible. Now the main idea over here is how to go out and look out for any trade possibility or so. If you try to look for a buy trade on the downside, most important is your target will be on the halfway through. So your target will not be very, very high. It can basically go maximum towards 17,200 or so. This will be your maximum higher level target, so to speak, if you want to take a buy trade over here. So if you want to take a buy trade, first thing is let it basically form a W at the bottom zone, which is very, very important. And this would be your target range on the upside. So if I have to go for a W formation, we will basically wait out here. The first bounce activity will take place, should basically go till here and then come back down. And then it can basically give you a good slide on the upside if it is not a clean W, but still the trend breakout kind of fashion will basically take place. So you can take a buy trade over here for a breakout on the upside, straight away getting at least 100 points trade over here. Now the range has become too wild because right from morning you can see sharp up move has happened. Okay, and then it has come back down. So the range is very wide, and that's why we need to be very, very cautious. Just do not go in the first attempt to go for a buy trade. So try to avoid that. Let's wait out for it to consolidate over here. And if you get a clean structure on the positive side, because here you can see a lot of support building in at 17,000 zone or 17,050. So I'll wait out for this trend line formation to take place and a clean structure to go for a buy trade with a smaller stop loss. And the targets are also intact. 17,200 to 250 would be the higher range of profit to look out for. So that was Nifty. If I bring in some kind of option data, I can clearly see the max put OI is also at 17,000. So that's also very, very important. A lot of support is there at 17,000. Plus, if you see the max call OI was there at 17,300. And that's where the sharp move came, but there was max call OI, but prior technical level, all that said and done with red dotted lines, everything came down like a bundle. So we'll wait out. Now range has become wide, and obviously even a smaller trade if you get will be of 100 points with a smaller stop loss. Good risk reward of 1:2, 1:3 can be taken. So that's the view on Nifty. Let's go on Bank Nifty now. And first thing on the hourly chart, the same thing has happened like in Nifty as well. Right from the bottom, we have seen multiple times support has been taking place. It has zoomed up today morning as well, and it also got stuck in the same zone. Right, so prior zone of this acting like a selling pressure, 36,700 to 800 zone, sharp downside coming through, and you can clearly see a bounce has happened around 35,800. So this is also clear that yes, good amount of support is building up in this zone where the first bounce has happened. It can come back down, and if you try to go in for a smaller time frame, again the same thing, sharp up move over here right at the top, makes a shooting star, comes back down, two red dotted lines sharply moving down all the way to the bottom. And now we are seeing good amount of buying coming in right at the bottom. But I would say Bank Nifty will become more volatile compared to Nifty. It basically seems like that because the way it moved up, way it moved down. So it's better to focus on Nifty rather than Bank Nifty for today's trade. So again, in Bank Nifty also we can look out or watch out for some kind of, you can say, trend structure over here as well, where he basically spends a lot of time so that we can wait out for good structure to get formed, okay, for taking the trade. So do not take the trade right now in the first bounce, let it consolidate, and it is very clear that you can take a trade, it will get stuck at 36,300. If it goes higher, it can go all the way towards 36,500 also. So that will be a good move on Bank Nifty, but I would suggest taking trade on Nifty rather than Bank Nifty, because the kind of move that has happened in Bank Nifty is way wide compared to Nifty. So I would suggest Nifty can become much more structured than Bank Nifty. But yes, the upside target for this one as well remains the same. The top over here, 36,500 or so. So good risk reward can be taken for a bounce in the afternoon. Obviously, the Dow futures and everything has opened negative, and that's where the sell-off has also taken place. But I feel that it can mellow down and it can give a push, like a first one push on the upside. Now, you can also trade on the downside, but the downside can be limited. And obviously, if the last sell-off takes place, then the downside can come very fast. But for that, in order to catch, you have to be very peculiar, that if it keeps forming the same formation over here multiple times, you take support. And if it does not go up, okay, if it does not go up and it breaks on the downside, then we can take a sell trade over here. It basically comes down straight away to this zone. So the same thing can also be looked for the sell side rather than the buy side, because here if the buying does not go above 36,300, okay, and it is continuously being sold, and you can basically see the buyers are trying, and then they finally kind of give away. I can see a good downside in Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty has a better downside because the kind of spike and the reversal has happened is too wild and too fast on the up move. If you can see right from 35,800 to 36,200, so that's like around 400 points, and then you can easily get 200 points on the downside. So that's good for Bank Nifty on the downside. And if I try to bring in the same structure, can we look for sell also on Nifty or not? Let's quickly check that house as well. So we can see here it is trying to go up, and if it consolidates over here, it can become a little difficult for the sell side because the downside might get limited on a smaller strand. So I would suggest buy on Nifty if I get that structure, or else I am more interested to go for the sell on Bank Nifty, which can also give us a nice trade. And here this is very important. If it doesn't breach over here, again selling comes in, again selling comes in. So this is also very important. So if you're trying to buy, first is this. If it breaches, it goes again on the higher side. So 17,150 kind of zone, and then it goes all the way towards 17,200 to 50 kind of zone. But I don't go out for selling mandate on Nifty. I will look for buy. And yes, Bank Nifty can be a good sell-off mandate. You can clearly see if it doesn't go up, and a lot of buyers are trying to push here. Also, you can see 1, 2, all the buyers are pushing up. Again, multiple times the buyers push up, but if the price does not go beyond 36,300, sharp sell-off can take place again in the second half. So be ready for that, because this is already a swift fall. Try to understand the logic. Huge buying taking place right in the morning. All the buyers are stuck at the top. The price comes tumbling down. So all these buyers are stuck. What happens now? When the price goes back up, all these buyers will push the price again down in order to exit their positions. So the idea over here is a lot of pressure will come on the upside. Hence, I do not want to go for buy trade. And more than that, if I get, he's trying to go up, and if it fails, if more buyers fails to push the Nifty, Bank Nifty up, I will get a clean trade on the downside of 300 points. So that is also very good trade we can look out for Bank Nifty. So I would be looking for sell trade rather than buy trade, and Nifty kind of good sluggish can look for a buy trade as well. So that's it from today's commentary. And we can clearly see Nifty and Bank Nifty also, if you see the option data, it clearly suggests max put OI is also at 36,000 zone, and that's why it has taken a good support at this range. So as I said, multiple times support needs to be taken. If it breaks from 36,200, at least you'll get 36,000. That's like minimum target. So if I get 200 points, and if I trail it, if it goes below 36,000, it can go all the way toward 35,800. So a sharp downside of 300, 400 points can be caught in Bank Nifty if they keep making multiple times of buying signals at the bottom and unable to go higher than 36,000, kind of 250 to 300 zone. So that will be a nice trade to take. Good risk reward, 1:3, 1:4 can be a good trade facility for the second round of fall, which might come in the afternoon. So thank you very much for watching. We connect again tomorrow.